Shalom, shalom, Jerusalem. Peace be to you.
This Friday night brings a different kind of Sabbath. There is a movement to just give it a rest, and it being your BlackBerry, Facebook, Twitter. Can you live without emails for a day? The National Day of Unplugging urges the overstressed and overworked to log off and tune out technology for 24 hours.
Oh, permanently, you're always connected in one form or another. So
That's the idea behind this, basically.
Yeah, just to sort of take a step back, and I mean, it really came out of recognition that as I was spending more and more time with technology, it was just getting harder and harder to connect to people, and I was aware of my attention span becoming shorter and so on. So yeah, it just it evolved out of that, I guess.
And Gretchen, 66% of Americans own a cell phone. It's a huge convenience, and it's not always a negative either. I mean, when we talk about us needing to connect to each other more, people do use their cell phones to, send photos or text messages or whatever of their children, and it does keep us connected in a way too. I mean, it's not all bad, right?
No, I mean, that's the thing. Technology, it's a good servant but a bad master, and it can give you wonderful access to more people. You can keep strong ties with other people, and
so Judith, it's kind of the perfect weekend to talk about it, Easter weekend, and we just had Passover, right? So let's talk to me about the Sabbath, what it means to you, just religion aside, what it means to you.
The Sabbath is two things to me. One, it's this incredible idea. It's really one of the great ideas in human history. It's transformed the world. It's affected the way we've lived for thousands of years. And I was interested in thinking about it, studying it, learning its history before it kind of disappeared from our lives. So that was the big idea that I had about the Sabbath. And then what it meant to me personally was it was a way to get outside of the work-a-day, driven, careerist life that I was leading.
It's interesting because you talk about, Christians, any religion, people have these moments where they feel like they're searching for something, right? And then it can be even harder now, as you say, we're connected. I'm showing my BlackBerry and my iPhone, and you're always connected. And sometimes, do you think it's always about religion, or is it just about connecting to source, connecting to family, pulling back and not being so involved in the rat race?
Don, that is exactly the point. That's exactly the point of what I discovered about the Sabbath, which is that it is a really good idea for people, for families, for communities to set aside a structured time in which to connect with each other. And that is at the heart what the Sabbath does. I say we're sort of we're driven by time rather than driving it ourselves, and it's making us sick. The idea of the Sabbath is not just that all people have the right not to work, which, by the way, was a radical and new idea when it was first conceived and written down in the Fourth Commandment. It's not only that. It's that all people have the right to work, not to work, at the same time, so that they can be together. And one of the things that's happening to us is that we're getting on these very different schedules, and we're having a very hard time figuring out how to come together. And what the Sabbath does is it creates this situation in which there's just a structured period in which we can come together.
So is this the first step? And maybe that is the answer to my next question. Is going to say, what's the first step if someone's watching and they say, you know what, I need to do that?
Basically, the first step is to do it yourself. You bring it into your life and try to get your family to do it with you. But one of the things I argue in the book is one of the ideas, the political ideas sort of embedded in the Sabbath, is the idea that as a society we have the right to take control of our time and say maybe as a democratic society we want to decide to bring back some rules about what can and cannot be done one day a week. And we might want to start thinking about ways to encourage people not to work on that day.
No, very good advice.
Benedict XVI kicked off the week of prayer for Christian unity during his Sunday Angelus.
Preghiamo con maggiore intensità.
The Pope also said that Christian unity was more necessary than ever, given the turbulent times the world is living in. During the past few years, Catholic-Orthodox relations have improved. The future will depend in large part on the next Patriarch of Moscow, the head of the largest Orthodox community in the world, who will be chosen next week. The leaders of the Orthodox faith will probably meet later this year for the Pan-Orthodox Council on the Greek island of Rhodes. Catholic relations with Protestant communities are much more complicated, particularly when it comes to issues such as ordaining female priests and gays.
Are you ready? Let's go.